The year of underdogs, this is the year we were reminded why it's called the beautiful game. Iceland and Portugal at the Euros, Zidane's managerial debut, Barcelona final day heroics, the height of MSN, and of course, arguably the greatest sporting achievement ever. But what made these triumphs so incredible? The summer of 2016 delivered one of the most surprising and emotional moments in European Championship history. On 10 July 2016, Portugal, a nation with no prior major international trophies, stunned hosts France 1-0 after extra time in the UEFA Euro 2016 final at the Stade de France. Portugal's tournament began in unconvincing fashion. Drawn in Group F alongside Iceland, Austria and Hungary, they recorded 3 consecutive draws, 1-1 versus Iceland, 0-0 versus Austria, and a wild 3-3 draw against Hungary. This left them third in the group, qualifying for the knockout stages only as one of the best third-place teams. Critics dismissed them as outsiders, yet coach Fernando Santos emphasised resilience and defensive discipline over flair. One of the biggest shocks of the group stage came courtesy of Iceland, who were making their debut at a major tournament. With a population of just over 330,000, they held Portugal to that opening 1-1 draw, celebrated with their now iconic Viking clap, and advanced to the knockouts unbeaten. In the round of 16, Iceland produced a seismic upset, coming from behind to beat England 2-1 in Nice. Goals from Sigurdsson and Sigthorsson secured what many called the greatest night in the country's footballing history, eliminating a football giant and cementing Iceland as the tournament's most beloved underdog. Portugal's own knockout journey began against Croatia, one of the tournament's in-form sides. In a tense encounter with few chances, Ricardo Quaresma scored in the 117th minute after a Ronaldo shot was parried, giving Portugal a 1-0 win. The quarter-final against Poland was equally tight. Robert Lewandowski scored early, but Renato Sanchez equalised with a superb strike. Portugal held firm and won 5-3 on penalties, with Rui Patricio making a crucial save. In the semi-finals, Portugal faced a spirited Wales side led by Gareth Bale. Ronaldo rose to the occasion, scoring a towering header before assisting Nani for the second goal in a 2-0 win. Suddenly, Portugal were 90 minutes from rewriting history. The final against France began dramatically. Just 25 minutes in, Dimitri Payet collided with Ronaldo, leaving the Portuguese captain in visible pain. Despite attempting to play on, Ronaldo was substituted in tears, his dream final seemingly over. But rather than collapsing, Portugal rallied. Ronaldo took on a quasi-coaching role from the sidelines, urging and motivating his teammates. France dominated possession and created chances, but Rui Patricio produced a string of outstanding saves, including a key stop from Antoine Griezmann's header. The deadlock persisted into extra time. In the 109th minute, substitute Eder, often criticised during his career, received the ball outside the French penalty area. Shielding off Laurent Koscielny, he unleashed a low, powerful strike from 25 yards that beat Hugo Lloris and found the bottom corner. Portugal held on, and when the final whistle blew, history was made. Ronaldo, his knee strapped, lifted the Henri Delaunay trophy as fireworks lit up the Parisian night. For Portugal, this was more than a football title. It was a national moment of unity, proof that perseverance and belief can overcome any odds. From scraping through the group to conquering the hosts, and with Iceland's improbable run capturing hearts along the way. Leicester's fairy tale. Heading into the 2015-16 season, Leicester City were virtually written off. Emerging from a period of turbulence, including relegation to League One and years in the Championship, they were pegged at 5,000 to 1 odds by bookmakers to win the Premier League, longer than any other club had previously been quoted for the title. It was a line few dared to take seriously. Under new management from Claudio Ranieri, the squad comprised a mix of overlooked talent and seasoned professionals. Key signings included N'Golo Kante, $5.6 million, Shinji Okazaki, $7 million, Christian Fuchs, free, and Robert Huth, $3 million. These additions strengthened a core that featured Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, and Wes Morgan, alongside players like Danny Drinkwater, Andy King, and Mark Albrighton. Leicester's start to the season was impressive but not breathless. They were consistent and resilient. As the months passed, they remained impervious to pressure. A defining moment came as Jamie Vardy surged into the record books, scoring in 11 consecutive Premier League matches, surpassing the previous mark held by Ruud van Nistelrooy. Meanwhile, Riyad Mahrez dazzled with his creativity and flair, earning him the prestigious PFA Players Player of the Year award, while Vardy himself was named both the Premier League Player of the Season and FWA Footballer of the Year. Claudio Ranieri's leadership was tactical, yet simple, focusing on organisation, counter-attacking precision, and unity. The team fought tirelessly, often executing quick transitions from defensive solidity to sharp attacks. Despite playing with just 44.8% possession, a figure lower than almost every other team, Leicester thrived on efficiency and ruthlessness. They scored in all but 3 of their Premier League fixtures, a testament to their consistency in front of goal, unlike their title rivals such as Arsenal and Tottenham, who each failed to score at home on 4 occasions. As the title race heated up, Leicester gradually climbed the table, and by the 2nd of May 2016, they clinched the championship in a surreal way. A draw between Chelsea and Tottenham handed them the title with 2 games to spare, a confirmation that left the football world stunned. Graphics of jubilant celebrations at the King Power Stadium and Andrea Bocelli's voice echoing through the night captured the emotional weight of the moment. Leicester's triumph was emblazoned across football history. Premier League Manager of the Season went to Ranieri, while Vardy and Mahrez scooped major individual awards. Several players, Morgan, Kante and Mahrez among others, earned spots in the PFA Team of the Year, a fitting nod to their impact. Fans and commentators alike viewed this as more than a title. It was dubbed the miracle of the century, and recognised as one of the greatest underdog stories now immortalised in sporting lore. Martin Keown, once a defender at Leicester, reflected how unthinkable the triumph was. If you'd asked me then, would they be Premier League winners before Arsenal? I'd have said, you must be a raving lunatic. Zidane's managerial debut. In January 2016, Real Madrid was struggling for form and identity under Rafa Benitez. Despite sitting third in La Liga, tensions within the squad and fan discontent prompted President Florentino Perez to act. On 4th January 2016, the club announced that legendary former player Zinedine Zidane would take over as head coach, his first senior managerial role after coaching the Castilla. Zidane inherited a star-studded squad: Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Sergio Ramos. But his challenge was to turn individual brilliance into collective dominance. Known for his calm demeanour and tactical clarity, he quickly restored morale, emphasising discipline, ball control and a balanced attack. The defining moments came in the UEFA Champions League. They cruised through the group stage, topping Group A ahead of Paris Saint-Germain. In the round of 16, they dispatched Roma with 2-0 wins home and away. The quarter-finals brought one of the campaign's most iconic comebacks. After losing 2-0 away to VfL Wolfsburg, Real faced a daunting task at the Bernabeu. Cristiano Ronaldo delivered a masterclass, scoring a hat-trick, 2 quick goals in the first 17 minutes, then a decisive free-kick, to seal a 3-0 victory and a 3-2 aggregate win. In the semi-finals, Real edged Manchester City 1-0 on aggregate, with Gareth Bale's cross deflecting in off Fernando for the only goal of the tie. This set up a repeat of the 2014 final against city rivals Atletico Madrid, held at Milan's San Siro on 28 May 2016. The final began with Ramos bundling in a scrappy opener in the 15th minute. Atletico fought back and had a golden chance to equalise, but Antoine Griezmann smashed a penalty against the crossbar early in the second half. Persistence paid off for Diego Simeone's side, and Yannick Carrasco levelled in the 79th minute. Extra time failed to produce a winner, and the title came down to penalties. Madrid were flawless. Lucas Vázquez, Marcelo, Bale and Ramos all scored. Juan Fran's miss for Atletico handed Ronaldo the chance to seal glory. He converted with trademark confidence, securing La Undécima, Real Madrid's 11th European Cup Champions League title. For Zidane, it was a dream start to top-level management, a Champions League trophy in less than 5 months in charge. It would prove to be the first of 3 consecutive European titles, cementing his place among football's most successful coaches. From uncertainty in January to triumph in May, Zidane's Real Madrid delivered not only silverware, but also a statement, one that heralded the beginning of a historic dynasty. The height of the Spanish giants' rivalry. The 2015-16 La Liga season will be remembered as one of the tightest title races in recent years, with Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid all battling for the crown until the final weeks. Under Luis Enrique, Barcelona ultimately clinched their 24th La Liga title on the 15th of May 2016, defeating Granada 3-0 on the last day to finish with 91 points, just one ahead of Real Madrid. Barcelona began the campaign strongly, powered by the attacking trio of Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Neymar, the famed MSN front line. They combined devastating pace, creativity and clinical finishing, allowing Barca to establish a commanding lead at the top of the table by March. However, a late-season stumble nearly cost them the title. In April, Barcelona suffered a shock 3-game losing streak against Real Madrid, Real Sociedad and Valencia, allowing both Madrid clubs to close the gap. The Champions League quarter-final exit to Atletico Madrid added pressure, and suddenly their season hung in the balance. To their credit, the team responded with remarkable resilience. From late April onwards, Barcelona went on a 5-game winning streak, scoring 24 goals and conceding none, a testament to their attacking depth and defensive recovery. The decisive moment came on the final day. Real Madrid, 1 point behind, defeated Deportivo La Coruña 2-0, meaning Barcelona had to beat Granada to secure the title. The pressure was immense, but Luis Suarez delivered a masterclass. The Uruguayan striker opened the scoring in the 22nd minute, added a second before half-time, and completed his hat-trick in the closing stages. His performance not only sealed the title, but also confirmed him as La Liga's top scorer with 40 goals, making him the first player since 2009 other than Messi or Ronaldo to win the Pichichi Trophy. Barcelona finished with 112 league goals, the most in Spain that season, and a goal difference of plus 83. Luis Enrique's side added the Copa del Rey a week later, completing a domestic double despite the European disappointment. In the end, the 2015-16 La Liga race highlighted both the brilliance and vulnerability of this Barcelona side. They had moments of near collapse, but also the mentality to recover when it mattered most. For supporters, the image of Suarez celebrating his hat-trick in Granada remains a lasting symbol of determination and firepower. The new era, Pep Guardiola arrives at Manchester City. In February 2016, Manchester City announced that Pep Guardiola would take over as manager at the end of the 2015-16 season, signing a 3-year deal to replace Manuel Pellegrini. The move was a statement of ambition. Guardiola was one of the most sought-after coaches in world football, having revolutionised play at Barcelona and maintained dominance at Bayern Munich. His arrival was designed to make City not just England's top side, but a European powerhouse. Guardiola's pedigree was unquestionable. 2 Champions League titles, 3 La Liga crowns, and a treble with Barcelona, followed by 3 Bundesliga titles with Bayern. Known for positional play, high pressing, and patient possession football, he brought with him a tactical philosophy deeply influenced by Johan Cruyff's principles. From his first day in Manchester, Guardiola made it clear that his project was about long-term transformation, not just short-term results. He demanded players adapt to his meticulous positional structure, where space, movement, and pressing triggers were drilled in every sessio. Training under Guardiola was described by his players as football school at the highest level, with an obsessive focus on details such as body positioning when receiving the ball and precise angles for passing lanes. The squad underwent immediate changes. Club captain and goalkeeper Joe Hart was dropped due to concerns about his distribution. Ilkay Gundogan arrived from Borussia Dortmund to add midfield control, while Leroy Sané and Gabriel Jesus were signed as dynamic, versatile attackers. City started the 2016-17 season with a perfect 10-game winning run in all competitions, showcasing the high-intensity pressing and ball dominance Guardiola demanded. However, the season also exposed teething problems, defensive errors, vulnerability to counterattacks, and difficulty adapting to the physical demands of the Premier League. Ultimately, City finished 3rd in the league and went trophyless, something Guardiola admitted was a first in my career, the second time coming at the end of the most recent season. However, City look poised for success once again this time around. Click here for more on City's unbelievable squad for this season. Despite this, the foundations of a dynasty were being laid. Guardiola's insistence on tactical purity reshaped City's identity. The squad was gradually rebuilt with players suited to his system, including future signings like Ederson, Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva. His debut season planted the seeds for the record-breaking campaigns that would follow, most notably the 100-point league triumph in 2017-18. Pep's first year at Manchester City may not have yielded silverware, but it changed the club's trajectory. It was the beginning of a cultural and tactical shift that transformed not only City into one of the most dominant teams in modern football, it also changed modern football forever. The revolution had begun, and it was only a matter of time before the trophies arrived in abundance. AFCON thriller. In the twilight of the 2016 African Nations Championship, a tournament dedicated to showcasing Africa's finest home-based talent, DR Congo delivered a performance for the ages. On 7th February 2016 at Kigali's Amahoro Stadium in Rwanda, they overwhelmed Mali 3-0 to lift the Chan Trophy for the second time, becoming the first nation to do so in the competition's history. The Leopards' journey to the final had been a gritty display of consistency and composure. In the semi-finals, they edged past Guinea in a tense penalty shootout, following a 1-1 draw, while their route to the knockout stage showcased a balanced group performance under coach Florent Ibenge. The final itself was a statement of intent. Mechak Elia, named player of the tournament, struck twice, once early, once later, to put DR Congo firmly in control. Jonathan Bolingi added a third in the 74th minute, putting the match beyond reach. Their synergy on the field was a combination of attacking flair and defensive solidity unmatched by their opponents. This victory wasn't just about lifting a trophy, it was about identity and dominance. Democratic Republic of Congo finished the tournament as the top-scoring team with 13 goals from their 6th match, reflecting the depth of talent and team cohesion. Their coach, Florent Ibenge, joined the elite list of tacticians who had transformed a national side into continental champions. The euphoria that swept through Kigali and back home in DR Congo underscored the importance of this win. For many, it was more than a championship. It was an affirmation that the country's domestic leagues were producing world-class players capable of rising to the occasion on the African stage.